All right, so I'm going to walk you through a case study. This one is one of my favorites because I actually I got like a close friend from this because of this man's persistence and his consistency. So let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so marketing implementation case studies, results, testimonials, presented by none other than Mr. Jerome Lewis, Mr. Implementation, whatever you want to call it, right? Here we go. All right, so I'm going to take you through one of my case studies inside of my book here, right? You see this red arrow? I'm pointing to the book in the middle. So if you want more case studies, more results, right? When you schedule a call, we send this stuff out to you. All right. Next thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through our real estate marketing implementation framework, right? These are specific strategies that I implement, right? You want to understand my process? All you have to do is read that book, right? I put everything inside of that book, and it also comes with bonus material. One of the things that I realized in this industry and on my entrepreneurship journey is people always come and they ask me for marketing advice. And there's what's called a fractional CMO, a fractional chief marketing officer. This is a service that we provide to people and we help them grow their business through strategic and proven marketing strategies. You can learn more about that by checking out this book. We send all of this to you and I'll tell you how you can get that a little bit later. All right, so these are more results. This is my Google business profile. You can see it right there, 4.9 stars, right? We're always looking for more. If we've done business with you, you've done business with us. We welcome a review. We welcome feedback. We want honest feedback, right? It doesn't have to be positive. We want honest so we can grow and then we can improve. All right, so brief summary. Carlos Otero, 5-time published author and soon to be full-time real estate entrepreneur. So here's what we're going to do. The big picture, I'm going to take you through an introduction and the story. I'm going to tell you about the client. I'm going to give you the solution that we've given him. And then I'm going to tell you the outcome. So here's the story, right? This is the story. This is me at a networking event. I was running this networking event. I forget how, but this is like our first picture together. This is Carlos. We've become business partners. We've done some collaborations, but this is him. This is like our first picture ever that we've taken together. All right. And this is when I first met him. You can see he's, I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. All right. So here we go. I met this guy and he kept coming around, right? I'm like, why does this guy keep coming around? Why don't you go away? This is a picture of us here at a networking event. I believe I asked him to help me set this event up and he came and he was like, yeah, sure. I'll help set it up. This is us at an event. You can see me in my hand. I got a sandwich. Carlos loves those sandwiches, right? I got a sandwich there. He came specifically for the sandwich. It's like, I'm just kidding. All right. So he stuck around, and because he stuck around, I would take him through and I would make suggestions for him. I helped him become like a published author. And this is a service that we provide now. And this process has gotten much easier. But when I took him through this process, it was difficult. So if you think it's hard to write a book, he's been through a lot, right? And he got his book published. It's not as difficult as we think. Like we have a new process and it's a lot more easy to publish a book now. Here we go. That's us at another event. He's been consistent. He's been reliable. There we go again. That's me posing with his book that he published, right? The book that I just showed you. And that's this picture. He's here with Dan. And this was one of the mentors that I suggested for him and that I recommended to him because he kept asking me like real estate questions that weren't really within my wheelhouse and weren't really within my expertise. And I made that connection. I said, you know what? Here is a great mentor for you. You should reach out to this mentor so you can learn what it is that you want to learn specific to your customized situation. And he did that. Carlos and Dan, they've become pretty close since that investment. I just want to say, always be willing to invest in mentorship, partnership, consultations, coaching. All right. Here we go again. This is Carlos again. I took him to meet one of my mentors. This is us at an event. That's Ron LeGrand. You've probably seen Ron in some of my other case studies. You'll probably also know that he published the foreword to my book. There we go again. That's me in the middle. Carlos is on my right, your left. And you can see Ron LeGrand on my left, your right. Okay. All right, here we go, right? So remember that first book that I showed you a little bit earlier? That was his first book. That was the first edition, right? Version 1 is better than version 9. You'll hear me say that a lot, right? I got that from one of my coaches and one of my mentors. You want to get something out there. Most people are so worried about being perfect that nothing ever gets done. This is Carlos again, and he's published 5 books since that, in total, right? Since we've met and we've been working together. And this is him here posing with 3 of his latest books, and that blue book that you saw on the other page, that blue book here, right, has become one of these. So I just like to show the progress that you make once you get a product out to market, right? It's not supposed to be perfect. Nothing is perfect. And when we're doing this business, the reason why we do it is because we want business. We don't want to be perfect. We don't want to tell our life stories. We want to make money in our businesses, right? And when we get the product out there, the sooner we get it out there, the quicker we can make money. All right, so this is Carlos, and you can see him here, that circle, right? This is when he kept coming around. I was like, this guy's going to keep coming around. I'm going to test him a little bit. Let me see if he's like serious about his goals and his dreams. And he was. And I was like, you know what? I was running like networking events for this local real estate investor association, and they needed help with like leaders. Like, who wants to step up and be a leader? Jerome, you got to find other leaders so you're not exhausting yourself or you're not doing all of the work. I was like, you know what? This guy Carlos keeps coming around, so I'm going to make him into a leader for one of these groups. And I did that. And the picture on the left, right, the circle there, what you see is that's when I first put him on stage. And I put this picture here is because when I first met him and I threw him on stage, right, and I made him do like speaking, he was stuttering and he really didn't know what was going on, right? He was nervous, and if you let him tell the story, he'll let you know how it went. Okay. So now on the right, what you see on the right, we've gone through some training. I've given him some resources, some books, some coaching, some mentorship. I've given him the resources, and now he's a much more comfortable speaker. He's a national speaker now. He's a published author, and this is all because of, us working together. And this is one of my favorite success stories. So I just wanted to share that. All right. So here's the background. I met him through that networking meetup that I just showed you. And when I met him, he kept saying, "You're the real thing." And I was like, what does that even mean? What does that mean? And he kept saying that. And eventually I learned from him. He's like, I'm looking for the real thing. I don't want like people lying to me. I don't want the fluff. And I was like, okay, sure. I'd be happy to give you that. That's how I am anyway. That's my delivery. I'm going to tell you the real thing, right? I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to get you results, right? I'm going to deliver results so your business can grow and you can feel good from that, right? That's what I do, and that's how I deliver, right? So my proposed solution, as I talked about a little bit in the story, was I gave Carlos some coaching, some mentorship. I even referred him to courses and books, right? And also ultimately networking, right? Networking with the right people. The impact, right? The implementation, books, so many books, right? We're still going through some of those books, mentorship and the real thing, the real implementation, right? That was one of the reasons why I threw him on stage. That was one of the reasons why I was like, hey, go write this book, go create these videos, go through this stuff. He stuck around and appreciated the real thing. And that's why he's grown. That's why he's grown into what he's grown into, right? So now Carlos is an author, right? A 5-time published author. He has 5 books. He is a podcast host. He hosts his own podcast. He is now an entrepreneur, right? He was just a regular job person. He was trying to invest. He was going to do 1Z, 2Z real estate investing. Now he's a full-blown entrepreneur, right? And he is also a national real estate investor. He's done some deals nationwide because of our collaborations, our mentorship, our friendships, and stuff like that. All right, so here's the big lesson here, right? Perseverance, determination, consistency, and willingness, right? Carlos was willing to persevere. He was determined. And he was consistent, right? He was willing to take the real information, right? The information that I give. He was willing to implement it. He was willing to try it, all right? These are some other examples that I have. And like I told you before, you can get a copy of all of those examples in this book. And the way you get that book, right, is if you order one of our products. I'm going to show you how, right? So here's a summary. Carlos is now a podcast host, excellent podcast host. He's a national real estate investor. He's a published author, speaker. Here are your next steps, right? To get a copy of these books. All you have to do is schedule a call with me via Zoom, right? Let's see how me or my company can help you. Me or my agency can help you. Email me at jerome@jeromelewis.com. Here's my text, right? Text me at this number. We can set you up, me or one of my assistants, or we can connect on social media. Okay. So I have a video that I want to play for you. Let me go find it.
Jerome Lewis. Partner Jerome Lewis.
Jerome Lewis.
Jerome Lewis.
Jerome Lewis.
Jerome Lewis.
Jerome Lewis.
Jerome Lewis. This is a book from Jerome Lewis. This is a book that on its page it really caught my eye. It was The Insider Secrets of Successful Advertising, Lead Generation, and Marketing Implementation for Real Estate Entrepreneurs. So this book, I can't wait to read. I'm very excited to touch base on and how to get a little bit more people to recognize the business and the services that I offer personally, and then trying to progress that forward.
He is somebody who is an implementer. He knows how to get results. He has a track record of helping people get results.
Anyone's looking for a marketing expert. He is so knowledgeable. He has introduced me to some very practical, useful tools, and just the way that I can use them for it to flow in my business has been tremendous.
If you're stuck in your business on implementation, which tool to use, look no further. Jerome, thank you so much for helping me launch my virtual summit. I'm so excited that you are part of that as well.
But this is where you place your ad. So remember I kept talking about, like, why would you just do TikTok when all you got to do is hit the checkbox on Facebook? Well, this is where you do that inside the ad placement. So all you do is check that box and all your stuff is over on Instagram.
I'm eternally grateful for the opportunities that has risen out of our partnership. Yesterday, I taught my very first class in EXP World, and I was so nervous to do it. I honestly struggled with even believing in myself that I could do it, but when it was all said and done, everyone loved the class, and Jerome believed in me the entire time.
He's always been very helpful to me. He's actually been very helpful to a lot of my clients. I turn to him for a lot of advice, and we have worked together on and off.
Can't tell by now, I'm very serious. I'm an implementer. I'm like, dude, let's get stuff done. So you go to her class and you come get the content, then you come to my class, which is, it used to be just the social media mastermind.
Partner Jerome Lewis and my friend, he really helped me out with this. And, I can't really even write a sentence sometimes, but he somehow got me to do this, right? He got me to do this, right? And, this feels good, right? When you see it, it's like, hey, how many people can say they wrote a book, right?
And Jerome did this really well. He reached out, he gave me a video, and he said, hey, Leanna, by the way, I noticed that you always have the retargeting recipes behind there, and that you don't have your own book. So I went ahead and did something for you to help you. And he says, I did something, so I basically did 80% of the work for you. So first of all, he wowed me with what he did. But one of the reasons why he wowed me was that it was just out of the blue, and it's definitely something I need. And, he figured that out for me, and nobody had ever done that.
I had talked to, Jerome comes to all the calls. So that's another thing is I see Jerome because he comes to all of the trainings and the calls and things like that. But speaking as the recipient, this really made him stand out for me. And it showed me, here's a go-getter. Here's a guy who literally does something and gets it done.
My marketing and implementation, it was extremely simple and easy and effective. If anyone were to ask me who would I recommend and suggest, it would definitely be Jerome, because he really helped me simplify some of my offerings, compile them, and then to also see my value and what it was that I was offering the world.
Highly recommend each one of you. If you are someone looking to work in the real estate industry, then make sure you reach out to Mr. Jerome. I'm sure that he'll be the best person to guide you further.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jerome.
Thank you. You are appreciated.
I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jerome.